to my live. Today is Friday, the 28th of November, and I'm going to be here a couple of hours. It is 6 o'clock in the evening in the UK, and for those who don't know me, I come here. I'm not sure. Technical problem to start the night with. Can you hear me? The light of my thing is flashing for some reason. So I'm not sure that this is working. Is there anyone online who can tell me whether or not it's working? It's flashing, and I'm not sure what to do with this. I'm a bit of a technophobe. You know what? I'm going to take away the mic and I'm going to do it without the mic for today, just in case. Sorry for the little technical delay. This happens. So I'm going to go with my regular mic. It's live. That's what happens. Okay, so what was I saying? Welcome to my YouTube live. And for those who don't know me, I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here every Wednesday and every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time to take questions and discuss anything to do with mental health therapy, psychology, human behavior, emotional intelligence, mindset, mindfulness, and all those aspects of us that we don't spend enough time exploring and developing that could really make such a difference into our quality of life. So we've got Wigoto, hello, and Tia, hello. Can you hear me well, guys? I'm going to try to talk a bit louder. There's something happening with my mic, and I know that if it's not a solid light, it may not be working at its best. And so, yes. So what I'm going to do what I always do, which is start the live stream by reading and commenting on some of my own posts to give you an idea of how my brain works, and hopefully by the end of it, some of you will have gathered the inspiration, the courage to ask me some questions. Yes, I could hear you well from the start. All right, thank you. I took it out just in case because I didn't want it to become a problem and me being muted and keeping on talking for ages without realizing it. So, can you hear me now as well? I hope it's a yes. So let me go back to my notes and see what post I can read and comment on. Today we are Friday the 28th of November. So I go on the November section. Bear with, please. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. The first post that I'm going to read and comment on goes like this. Some people spend their whole life waiting for the right moment. Don't be them. So this is quite self-explanatory, but we all tend to do this. We all are waiting for the perfect moment. We're waiting for the perfect alignment of stars, for the perfect person, for everything to be perfect. And the truth of the matter is that perfection is not that it's something that doesn't exist. It can exist, but it only exists in the moment. And so we can't wait for it. We have to find it here, right now. Perfection, a lot of people say that perfection doesn't exist, and it's true that the concept of it as we think of it is not possible. But in reality, it is attainable. The only problem that we have with perfection is that it doesn't last. Perfection is only meant to last one moment. In that moment, if you can be present and if you can experience that moment with its beauty as it is, that moment will be perfect. But we don't like the idea of perfection because we believe that perfection is something that we can hold onto and keep and collect and have forever. And if we could be reminded that in the universe, in life, nothing is permanent, then now we can have a different appreciation of perfection. So instead of waiting for perfection to arrive, we can find it in this moment. Right? There's no place called the future, so it's not like it's ever going to arrive. Yeah. Hope it makes sense. The next post goes like this. You won't be able to heal as long as you allow for the people who hurt you in the past to keep hurting you now. So this is for all the people who have had a difficult family, dysfunctional family, narcissistic parents, and very often we struggle with cutting the umbilical cord because we believe that I must be a good person, I must stick to my family, blood is thicker than water, something like that. And it's just belief that are not necessarily going to be good for you. For some people, it may be the case. If you have a good upbringing, happy family, everyone is healthy, mentally and emotionally healthy and balanced, great. But for many of us, it's not the case. And we need to realize that we are not like the others, we're different. And so we must accept that maybe it's easier for me to cut, to create a space between me and those people, as opposed to try to keep somehow expecting them to give me something that they have never been able to give me anyway, which is love, acceptance, support, sort of things. And so, remember this, you won't be able to heal as long as you allow for the people who hurt you in the past to keep hurting you now. So again, this is not telling everyone cut tie with your families. This is a case by case, but we need to realize that we are indeed all different, and we must remind ourselves of our situation in order to be taking the right measures. And then the next post goes like this. You over-explain yourself because you were misunderstood as a child. And this is something that we don't think about, but a lot of behavior is down to whatever we have been through in the past. And even the most seemingly harmless, how can I say, boring stuff is still a repetition of the past because we know what we know. And so unless we are consciously facing our habits and upgrading them, we just continue the habits of our parents, of our caregivers, of how we reacted to them back then. And so when we end up over-explaining ourselves, there are some conditions that also accentuate this furthermore. But generally speaking, it's because back then we had to explain ourselves because people didn't get us then. I hope it makes sense. I don't have any comments yet, so I'm going to continue reading and commenting on my post. But remember, guys, if you're new to my channel, I'm here to take questions and to discuss anything you'd like to talk about as far as the mind and how we can enhance the quality of life from those perspectives is concerned. Okay, whatever your life looks like is the result of all the habits that you have been consistent at up to this point. And this is to basically remind ourselves that our life is no more or less than a collection of habits. So again, we have habits of thoughts, habits of emotions, feelings, emotions. I said that already. Reactions and behavior and actions. And so all we need to do in order to change our life is to change our habits. So we need to find out which are the habits that are the most important to change. Very often it's a habit of behavior. But before the behavior comes the thought. Before the thought comes the emotion. And so we want to change our emotional relationship with everything first and foremost, so that we can have a different mindset, a different system of thought that will allow us to have and display and demonstrate a different habit of behavior. We can install a new habit of behavior once we have changed the way we think and the way we feel about ourselves and everything else. And so, yeah, if you look at things like that, life is much more simpler. All we need to do is to find out what habit is holding us back and what new, better habit we want to replace it with instead. Next post. Criticism only hurts when you believe it to be true. And so now we are talking about how we project and how we react to people, because whatever they say is a reflection of things that we have inside of us. And so if someone tells me something like derogatory, says, Didi, I hate you, you're ugly, you stupid, or whatever. In the past, I would have reacted very, very, very badly. And I think, what do you mean? How dare you? It's not true. But now, because I've worked on myself, I'm like, I don't agree. I'm sorry that you see that of me, but I'm at peace with myself. So I'm going to wish you the best. You go in that way, I go that way, bye-bye for now. And so basically, we can only be hurt by what people think or believe of us if we believe this to be true. If there's a part of us that believes that it is indeed true, and it may not be something cognitive, it can be something that we have repressed so much, so deep down inside of us, but it's all happening subconsciously. We repress a lot of shame, a lot of emotions, a lot of parts of ourselves. And so because of that, a lot of those parts we're not aware of. But one of the ways to notice them is that, again, when people say things about us, if we react to them, it's a fantastic sign. It's telling us, I still have that wound inside of me. The only reason we react to other people's comments and remarks is because they are reactivating an old wound that exists still inside of us. It's not because of what we say. It's because we have the buttons that are still active and are there for people to push. And so when we understand this, we're not trying to react to them. We're going to change and address our triggers. And the next one is very similar to that. Compliments only feel wrong when you believe that you don't deserve them. So many of us, we find it awkward when people are saying nice things to us because we don't believe that we're good enough, that we are worthy, that we deserve to get praised. And so, again, if we feel like that, we want to work on ourselves and realize why. Why can't I accept that I've done a good job? Why can't I accept that that person likes me for whatever reasons that they're saying they like me? And that's because we don't see ourselves under that light. And so we want to change those filters so that we can eventually enjoy life, ourselves, and people more. Okay, let me see. There's some comment here. There's one comment from Emma Chilton. Hi, Didi. First time joining a live. May you be able to help me with a method to detach from hurtful feelings at all, please, to stop them from getting out of control. So I need to know what sort of feelings you're talking about. I want to talk about this, but I need to be more specific. What are you thinking about, referring to when you say you want to have a method that helps you detach you from hurtful feelings? The reason we suffer is because we have a bad relationship with our emotions and feelings. And instead of avoiding certain feelings, you want to have a better relationship with them and understand how to deal with them, how to process them, how to experience them. If you do that, then things are very different. But I will need you. It's from a breakup, long-term relationship. Okay, so tell me, what is the problem? What is the feeling? What is the thought? When do you feel those feelings and how is it expressing in your life? So I have an idea. From what I gather, it's an assumption, so I don't know if it's correct, and I need you to correct me on that if it's not correct. But is it that you had a breakup, you're feeling sad, and you don't want to feel sad about it? Is that correct? I feel lost. So let's talk about this again from the top of my head, just based on the word that you say. If you are feeling lost because you had a breakup and you don't like the feeling of hurt, that's maybe because you're experiencing life, and it's normal. Breakup, relationships. We come into this life to experience the full spectrum of human emotions, human state, human experiences, and it's all this. So it's not all bad, but we are going to experience joy, happiness, gratitude, forgiveness, but also heartbreaks, sorrow, fear, anxiety, hatred, revenge, and all of those things. It's all part of the human experience. And so if it's a one-off, and it's happening because it was your first big relationship, then it's totally normal. So what you need to do is to just allow for that experience to happen, go through it, and at some point you will get better. and you will learn more about yourself. You will learn more about you in regards to relationships. However, if it's a pattern, if it's something that is happening every time with every single person that you date, and it's problematic and it's preventing you to function, now it's different. And this is something else that we can talk about. But it's normal to feel lost. It's normal to be heartbroken. It's normal to feel that we've done something wrong. It's normal to have regret. It's all part of your experience, right? And so what I'm trying to say is that don't try to avoid those feelings. Embrace them, process them. Think about feelings and emotions like energies. They are floating all around us. They're going through us, in and out of us all the time. And so instead of avoiding them, embrace them. Just learn how to feel the feelings and do your best to focus on the sensation as opposed to thinking about it. When you think about it, now you're creating problems. You're going to think, oh, why am I feeling like that? Because that person is gone. Why are they gone? Because of me. Why me? Because I'm not good enough. Why am I not good enough? Because I was born cursed and I don't deserve the good things in life. So I don't know if that's the case for you, but I'm just imagining a possible scenario. And so the more we think about a feeling, an emotion, the more it escalates, it gets out of control, it goes all over the place. It can really become a huge thing. But if you can just feel it, it's a heartbreak, cry, let it out. If you're angry, let your anger out. Close the door in your room and shout or do something like that. Whatever that it is, allow for that energy to go through your body and to leave your body. If you think about that, you get to hold it into your body and you get to suffer it for much longer. And so, yes, learn how to have a better relationship with your emotions by feeling them instead of judging them, instead of thinking about them, instead of allowing them to give you a story that is going to hook you up, hijack you to a train of thoughts and feelings that is going to last forever. Right? The feeling of being heartbreak is only a moment. Allow it to happen, and then eventually it will teach you something. Next, ask yourself, okay, what can I learn from that situation? Maybe I can learn how to understand some aspect of myself. Maybe I can learn how to choose people who are different next time in my future romantic relationships, in my future dates, any of those things. And now, bang, you're back on track and, experiencing life and people again. Does it make sense? Am I cheating? Or was I off mark? If I was not on the same wavelength, do correct me and I'm happy to talk about it. I just base my answer on those few words that I see on my screen. So let's see. Emma, thank you. I will try to make it practical. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Cobus Hugo, where are your... Okay, I'm going to address that. I know that you're a troll, and I know that you're here to hurt strangers' feelings on the internet, and it's not very clever. However, this is an opportunity for me to address body shaming. A lot of us, we do this, and many of us, we don't realize this. So I'm not even sure. You may not realize this. You may be relatively young and genuinely wondering what's wrong with your eyebrows. And we do this because we are being conditioned to be mean to one another. We live in a culture where we're going to always highlight the difference of others. So that person is fat, that person is dressed up like a clown, that person, oh, look at that person, they're bald, they're ginger. Look at that person, they have this big spot in their face. We are conditioned to be mean to others and highlight what is different out of fear, out of reflections. And so some people do it malignantly to really hurt people. What's wrong with your eyebrows? But some people are genuinely they're wondering what happened to you. But in any case, I think it's important to start a new culture and teach people how to not do this. Instead of highlighting the difference, how about getting to know someone? Okay, how are you doing? What do you do? What do you like? And eventually, as you get to know someone better. By the way, I was wondering, is there something, a situation that you're going through that gets you to not have eyebrows? And that's the way we do this. If you don't know someone, the first thing that you're going to ask is, what's wrong with your teeth? What's wrong with your face, with your body, or the way you move, or the way you talk? Maybe we have a condition, but because we are growing up in that culture that is mean, that is really about putting down people who are different, we do this automatically. And so this is called body shaming, and we really want to learn how to not do this anymore. Right? You may not have come from a bad place. I don't know. Yeah. I know that there are trolls that do it deliberately, and it's okay. If I realize that you're a troll, I will just get rid of you. But sometimes people don't realize this. They generally come, they're surprised, they're wondering. And so I think it's important to basically make this a new normality, to be kind to people, but not highlighting whatever is different. Because if we're very different, we know it. I was watching an interview from Richard Osmond, guy, very tall guy, a television personality, and he was like, I hate it when people say to me that I'm tall. He knows, he doesn't need to know. It's as if it's a compliment. We know which that we are. Now, when we get to know someone, we can have all sorts of different conversations, and it's okay. But highlighting a physical difference from the get-go, I believe is very toxic. And it's something that we can learn how to do better. That's my fault. Cobust Hugo. And just so you know, I've done nothing to it. This is how I am. Yeah, so I'm aware of this. We all are different. There was a period of my life where I suffered a lot of stress and anxiety, and I lost my hair. I had alopecia. Now the alopecia is gone. My hair are back, but my eyebrows never came back. There you go. At some point, I may put some stuff, not because I'm insecure, not because I don't like my face. I love the way I look, but because I like fashion. I like to look differently. And I'm like, why not? Some people put makeup, put wigs, and so maybe at some point I may play around with putting some I don't know, mascara on my eyebrows. But it will not come from a place of me feeling that I have to. It will come from a place of me wanting to play with my appearance, with my looks, and see what happens. Okay, Cobus, Hugo, are we friends or not? Emma Chilton, yes, that's how it goes and gets out of control. Okay, all right, okay. So we are on agreement. What you want to do is to learn how to feel things, let it go, accept. It's part of the human experience, but choose better thought. Don't think about it. Instead of thinking, what was wrong with me about a relationship, think to yourself, okay, this happens, I have to accept it. It doesn't say anything about me as a person, because there are millions of persons and in this world that I can date, and this is my life. So I'm going to discover myself as I'm going to go through all of these relationships with other people. And the thing that you can do is to tell yourself, what can I learn from that lesson? Cobus, Emma, okay, so Cobus, so you were toxic, so I'm going to get rid of you, okay? It's a shame, but you know what, it happens. So I'm going to hide the user on this channel and then bang. So let's forget, now it's gone anyway. Anyone who is showing some clear signs of toxicity are not welcomed on this channel, because the reason I'm here is to create a community, a safe space for people to talk about their mental health, their problems, and how they can enhance their life in any way. And so if you're going to be naughty, you're not welcomed here, right? And it's easy. All we need to do is to do this, we don't react, we don't get affected by it, and it's a great way also to remind ourselves that this is how we deal with toxic people in life. So they are not inherently toxic, no one is, but in that context, that person was toxic to me, to Emma, and probably to anyone else if I allowed him to stay on that platform. So what you can do is to set boundaries, to create a space, and we can also do this in real life, just like that. It's easy, okay? Race lever, get a punching bag. Yes, punching bag to get rid of the anger. Fantastic, great thing to do indeed. Novice, why do I start shaking when I meet attractive people? I'm an introvert and it makes it hard for me to meet people that are interested in me. Because you don't believe that you're good enough. I used to be the same. When I used to be facing people who are good looking, I would get nervous. I would stress out, and the moment I talk, I would say something stupid and I would look like an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. And we do this because we believe that we don't deserve, we're not good enough. We don't reach the standards. We're not in the same league. And so we still want to connect with people because we are attracted by them. But until and as long as we believe this about ourselves, this will happen. The way we feel with people is always our body telling us, reminding us about how we should behave in regards to those people, those situations. And so, yes, you just said yourself that you are introvert. And so, there you go. I just realized, gosh, the person that I deleted put a lot of messages. We can't see them anymore, but it tells me that message has been deleted by me. So basically what I do, I just hide the user from this channel. So probably you are still able to see this if you're still around, but we can't see any of your comments. Even your name is gone. And so there you go. So yes, novice. Yes, if you're an introvert, you want to change how you see yourself. We can talk about this if you want. The first thing that you want to do is to stop saying, I am an introvert. Whenever you say, I am an introvert, you are confirming this to yourself. You are self-hypnotizing. You're telling yourself, I'm an introvert, I'm an introvert, I am an introvert, I'm shy, I always look down, I have a very inward body posture, I need to protect myself from the world, people are bad, people are intimidating, people are scary. And so first thing first, stop telling yourself, I am an introvert. Tell yourself, I am learning how to change. I want to change some aspect of me and do some work. We can talk about this if you want. But yes, it's actually relatively normal. Nervous. Couple ago, you can't hurt my feelings. RS. Well done. Fantastic. Thank you. Nervous. So whatever, I can't read, it's all gone now. But yes, whatever that person said, forget about them. That person, I'm going to assume that it's him because it's Hugo. People who are trolling others online, they come from a place of hurt. They're bored, they're frustrated, they're angry, they hate their life, they're miserable, and they need to find a way to let go of that frustration and that anger. It's not their fault. It's not nice on others, but they don't choose that either. They also suffer from that. So we need to also remind ourselves of that, because if we can see people through the eyes of empathy and compassion, if we can feel sorry for them, it's going to be very hard for us to be angry at them. And so that's a way to do this. And I know this, and I really mean this, because I used to be the same myself for many, many, many decades. I used to be like that. I used to be toxic and negative and nasty to everyone because I had to deal with my own past trauma, baggage, and this is what I had to go through in order to get better. And so we don't choose that. Any trolls, any people who are hurting strangers online or in real life, they're doing it only for one reason, because they hurt. When we say that only hurt people, it doesn't mean that because someone has been hurt, they'll go and hurt others. It means that only hurt people hurt people. And so when someone is going to hurt you in any way, it is because they hurt in some ways and capacities. And so if we can shift our perspective of them, and instead of seeing them like bad people, we want to, of course, protect ourselves first, create a space, get rid of them, right? But if we can realize that they're like that because of X, Y, Z, now we don't need to feel bad. It's not because of me. It's not because I attract all the bad people. It's not because the world is full of bad people. Not at all. The world has all sorts of people, good, bad. And also, no one is good or bad. We go through a journey and we change, and we have different also moods throughout the day. So we're going to come across as good or bad to different people for different reasons in different moments of the day. And so, yeah, if we can change our perspective and realize that even Cobus Hugo could be maybe someone very nice and kind. Maybe he's been heartbroken. Maybe he had a terrible childhood. Maybe he hates his job. Maybe whatever. Maybe he's someone who is disabled, who suffers a lot physically and can't do nothing about it. Then we're not going to be angry at him anymore. Right now, because I'm saying this, I'm actually feeling sorry for him. I don't know what his beef, but he must have something. And so, Cobus Hugo, if you're still watching, I genuinely wish you the best. I really mean this. Emma, novice, that's something you can work on. Try to be more confident. Yes, it's something that we can be working on, but just saying try to be more confident will not work, right? It's like someone that is depressed. Why can't you be more happy? Someone that is more anxious, someone that suffers from anxiety and panic attack. Why can't you be more brave? We don't do this just like that. We don't want to diminish someone's problem and suffering. People have problems, and to them, it's a real thing. And because we don't have that problem, it's difficult for us to understand what they are going through. This is why empathy is so important. And so it's very kind of you and helpful, Emma, to say you can work on it, and I agree with that. But saying try to be more confident may not be enough. But thanks anyway for the kind input. Race lever, trolling is a cope. Race lever, too predictable Cobus. Okay, so Cobus have been very busy before all his comments disappeared. I will never know what it was, and let's forget. I'm a little bit behind. I understand this. So let's see. Let's move on and see what happens further down. We should just code Cobus cope. Oh, wow. You really left an impression, Cobus, on the little community for a moment. So again, guys, remember that whenever this happens, I get rid of them. So don't feel that it's something that is normal. Frisner, no, don't do that. You look great. With my eyebrows. Thank you. Thank you. I do like the way that I look, but again, I said, I may play around with that just for fun, like with fashion, clothes, get tattoos, so why not? But it's not something that I will do if I do it, because I feel that I'm missing something, that I'm lacking. I'm not that person anymore. I used to, not anymore. Rest lever, cope. Tia, in with things exactly. Is it good to have opposite or similarities in a relationship? So let me try to understand that. In with things exactly, I don't understand. Is it good to have opposite or similarities in a relationship? Okay, I understand that bit. So basically, in a relationship, is it good to be the same as the other person or different? It depends. It doesn't matter. It's not a rule of thumb. We try to control things by creating some rules. And so we're going to say, different, opposite attract. Or some other people are going to say, same people attract, and it's not that simple. We are very intricate as an individual to start with, so no one is unidimensional. We have many different aspects of us. Now put two of those one person together, and it's twice as many complications and potential and possibilities. And so don't worry about same or not the same. This is not an indicator of anything at all. If some people are together and very different, or because they're very the same, it's just a coincidence. And it works on both ways anyway. We know people who have fantastic relationships because they're so different, and others who are the same. And so I think it's more about which part of us is the same and which part of us is different. What is important? So now maybe I can think about going in your direction. And here's how it goes. I believe that it's important to have some similarities in the things that matter to us. And so, for instance, if you look at me and my husband, we're very different. We couldn't be more different. The way we live our life, our preferences, the things we enjoy, very different. I like stuff about the mind. I like the gym. I like concerts and live music. And he likes antique road shows, aliens, watching his stuff, being on his own, and not seeing people. We are very, very different. A lot of things that I do, he doesn't do. He can't. A lot of things that he does, I have interest, but there's nothing that I can do because it's all in his mind. He's got autism. However, there are some things that we are very, very much alike. We are very much alike in how we see the world, in how we see life, in how we see people, in how we treat people, in how we are learning how to deal with ourselves, how to become better people, and how we are going to experience this reality. To us, the spiritual life and also kindness, compassion is very important. To us, standing for the underdogs, for people who need help, is very important. I do my work, I look after people who need help, and everyone, as far as I'm concerned, who come to see me, see themselves like underdog, like I used to see myself for many years. But my husband does the same in his own way. He's got a market, antique market stall, and there he meets all sorts of people, and whether he's there or in his life, he looks after a lot of people who are very unfortunate, who are a bit weird, as in they're different. They have mental conditions, they're maybe half homeless or homeless, and he spends time with them. He listens to them. He gives them some love and some happiness. And there are some people who come and see him that no one talks to, but he does, because he doesn't see a difference. He sees human beings, and for that we are similar, and for that we are so grateful to have found each other. And so in relationship, to answer your question, Tia, I think that it's important to be similar in regards to the things that really matter to us. So that could be politics, for instance, religions, It could be how we see ourselves in regards to the mindset we have. Do I want to grow? Do I want to be open-minded? Do I want to be curious and kind? Or do I want to believe that I'm better than everyone, control them? Do I believe that in order to be happy, I must control others? Those sort of things. I think it's the big moral values that matters. Everything else doesn't matter. We also have something else that we have in common. We respect each other's place, space, and freedom. And so basically, we've been together for 21 years, and we love each other, and life is amazing. But we spend a lot of time doing our own things. And this is probably the most important thing, one of the most important things as well for us, is that I know that he has his own world and he knows I've got mine. And we love that we can go back and forth from our world together to our little private space. And so, yeah. I hope that this answered your question, Tia. Novice, you talk a lot, but you're not contributing anything to the chat, Cobus. He's gone. So, yeah, that was before. Let's move on. Race lever. Not predictable enough since you've wasted your time typing it. Okay, so we're still talking about that guy. So, guys, remember everything that I said. Things happen, people happen, and if you can learn how to maybe see that guy under better light, if you have any trapped frustration, it just will be easier to let it go. Well, different. I, for instance, because of my conditions, I used to hold on to grudges, and I used to really go on a rampage to try to punish and think a lot of negative things about anyone who would say something bad to me for hours on end afterward. Now I don't care anymore because I've changed. Yeah. Rest level backup, yes. Novice is shaking a part of CPTSD. Yes, it is. It is. CPTSD comes in many different ways, but indeed, our body is going to respond to some situations that are going to remind us of the overwhelm we had in the past. So now our body is going to react in the same way. So some people may have some tightness in the stomach. One of my clients wanted to vomit every time he was in a certain situation of stress because it was something that happened to him when he was a child. So that was his reaction. Some other people will have a headache. Some people will feel dizzy. Whatever it is, whatever happens in our body in regards to stress would be connected to something in the past. And so if we have CPTSD, of course, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And this is not only about those little instances. We're talking about also serious illnesses at a later stage in our lives. Things like cancer, Alzheimer, and dementia, high blood pressure, heart disease, all of those very, very problematic illnesses that we have at a later stage in our lives, they are also the result of some unhealed emotional wounds from when we were young that have been kept and nurtured all throughout our life. And eventually it has affected our immune system, our endocrine system, our body in whichever part. And so that's why it's so important to address ourselves from a general perspective. It's not just physical health. Mental health and emotional health and physical health, to me, they're the same. The way you think and the way you feel about yourself will create things in your body. And also in the other way around, the way you feel in your body will affect the way you think and how you experience life emotionally as well. As in, if we are in a constant state of physical stress, distress, and discomfort, we're going to be much more reactive, we're going to be much more negative, we're going to be much more easily manipulated by people because we're going to be on a state of survival all the time. And when we're on a state of survival, we don't have access so much to our analytical, critical mind. And that's why the government wants us to stay in those states, so that we can manipulate our fears, our angers, our hatred, and divide us and create more problems for everyone else but them. Novice, oh, thank you. Race level, I miss Cobus already. We're going to have a minute commemoration thinking about Cobus in silence, wishing him the best. Emma, thank you, Didi. I shall work on accepting and keep movement flowing. Fantastic, thank you, Emma. Irrovent, low budget Mr. Beast donated $1,000. I don't understand. What do you mean by this, Irrelevant? Emma, I am worth someone's love. There is nothing wrong with me. Yes, absolutely. There's someone for everyone. And so what we want to do is to let go of the limiting belief that we have about ourselves and explore the world with an open mind and see the beauty in everyone and allow the right people in, as opposed to believing that I don't deserve love, and so I'm going to only allow people that my subconscious mind knows are not material for happy long-term relationships. We do this a lot. Carpe diem. Emma, don't be so harsh on yourself. I agree. King's Cross VIP. Oh, King's Cross. I live in King's Cross. I live between King's Cross and Russell Square. King's Cross VIP. I love your peaceful, wise videos. Thank you. Allah bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Emma, Carpe diem. I put a lot into the relationship. It was almost 12 years. You don't put things into a relationship. You experience yourself in a relationship. If you believe that you put something in a relationship, the moment it's gone, it's taking everything away. It's not like that. Think about how you have grown from that relationship. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about the world, about people? But also all the good stuff that you've had. If you've been 12 years in a relationship, it was not all bad. There were some good things. So focus on the good stuff. Some good things happened for you to stay all the time. Unless, of course, you have suffered from narcissistic abuse and it was a very, very traumatic continuation of your childhood, right? So in that case, that wouldn't be the case. But try to focus on how you have grown as a person in any which way thanks to that relationship. And this is how we should address all relationships. Relationships are not meant to last. There's not a single relationship in life except exceptionally rare exceptions. We will all part, right? And so most relationships break down, like, I don't know, 70% people divorce or something like that. But even if we're in a happy relationship for many, many years, at some point, one of us will go before the other. So there will be a rupture and a severance. It's meant to happen. Relationships are not meant to last forever. We must accept it from the get-go. And what we want to do is to think every day is a blessing. Every day is an experience. Every day is a lesson. Every day is an adventure. I'm going to make the most of that day. And then when it's gone, we're going to think about the good memories and the things that we've learned from this relationship. And we can continue meeting other people and exploring ourselves with more relationships all throughout our lives. I hope it makes sense. But don't feel that you have lost 12 years. Everything about your life is there to teach you about what it is to be you in your life. And so see it like that. We never lose things. We only lose things if we have attachment. So this is Buddhist principles. But if you believe that I own things and people, then you will lose them. Because there's not a thing or not a person that will always be with you the way that you want it all the time, forever. But if you can appreciate the moments that you share, the things that you can remember, then now it's a game changer. Rest level. I'm usually good from about 12 to 12.1. So I'm not sure what we're talking about. We're talking about mood. Is that what you meant? Carpe diem. Maybe it's time you deserve some freedom and healing. Talking to Emma. I think we all deserve. We're all on that journey to learn how to do those things. But I agree with that. I agree that we deserve freedom and healing indeed. Genuine hinged. I feel how you see the world is the most important in relationships. Yes, how you see the world, how you see the people, how you see yourself, how you see the relationship. Everything is about how you see it. It's not about how it is. If we believe that there is a universal, fixed, and absolute reality, now we're going to be prisoner of that reality. Because that reality comes with rules and regulations and belief and codes of conduct that we must follow. But if we can realize we can change the way we look at anything and everything at all, which are the premises of quantum physics transposed into psychology, then we can change our life by just doing this. If you want to change something, the best way to do it is to change the way we look at it, instead of trying to change it physically from what it is. Someone is going to try to troll me again. I'm not going to read the comment. I'm just going to get rid of them. Anyone who has one word that is offensive or racist or stereotypical, I get rid just like that. Okay, gone. Rest level, don't worry. Kailash Panwar, what is religious OCD? I know about religious narcissism, and I can see, I have never explored those two concepts together, but I can see precisely how. So OCD, yeah. I mean, I have thought about it, but I never explored it in depth. But basically, OCD goes in two parts. First, there's the obsession. We have some intrusive thoughts, and then there's the compulsion. Is what we're going to do to either avoid that thought or comply to that thought and feel better about ourselves. So intrusive thought can be very different to all of us. But for some of us, if it's about religion, let's assume that the obsession could be the fear of hell, the fear of sins. When people are telling little kids that they're going to burn in hell forever, it's a trauma. It is psychological trauma. And some of us will really suffer from that. And so if you live in a community where people are very, very much all traumatized and they perpetuate a tradition of trauma, using religion as a way to do this, without realizing it, of course. But if that happens, then it's easy to imagine how someone would have obsessive thoughts about the fear of death, the fear of hell, the fear of being judged by God and not being good enough. And so maybe the compulsion that they have about this is to tell everyone, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you all day long on the internet, on YouTube, on my life. And this is what Jehovah's Witnesses do, for instance, because I don't know all of them, but I've read some stuff about ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and many of them agree on the fact that they've been basically traumatized and live in fear, and they believe that they are different to the human beings. They are the chosen ones, and the other ones, they're going to all go to hell when the Elohims, the alien, comes back and destroy Earth. And so basically their mission is to tell everyone about Jesus and get them to join their cult in order to be stronger together. And they're obsessed with that. And so that's one of the way I could see religious OCD. The obsessive thought being maybe the fear of not being good enough, shame, sins, those sort of things. And compulsion, you must try to convert everyone. Tell everyone about Jesus all the bloody time. People that you don't know, just tell them, repent. And that actually, you just made me realize why so many people are like that online. So thank you for that. I'm going to type on Google still, really just OCD, and see if it agrees with me. So there's a word, scrupulosity. Scrupulosity is the pathological guilt and anxiety about moral issues. So that's something else. Very interesting. I haven't thought about it. Although it can affect non-religious people, it is usually related to religious belief. It is personally distressing, dysfunctional, and often accompanied by significant impairment in social functioning. Okay, and this is religious OCD. Fantastic. I've learned something thanks to you today. And so, religious OCD, fear of having had blasphemous thoughts, or if your thoughts could be considered sinful or blasphemous. Very good. And then experiencing unwanted and intrusive, disrespectful thoughts about religious figures or religion and worrying about it. Worrying that you might have committed a sin. So yeah, I haven't thought about it, but yes, absolutely. Repetitive, intrusive, and unwanted doubt about your religious belief. So hence the projection of having to get everyone on board with your religion. Overwhelming fear of going to hell. So that's the one thing that I have highlighted. Fear of having offended God. So there you go. People who are always going, how dare you speak like that to God. Perfectionism about worship. So very good. So this is a great topic. Thank you for raising my awareness on that topic. But yes, religious OCD is called scrupulosity. Fantastic word as well, scrupulosity. And it's the pathological guilt or anxiety about moral issues. So very typically, people who are always judging others. Don't be like that, don't do that, this is wrong, we must be virtuous. That is similar to that. It will be like that for them, and it can develop in different ways for different people. But people who are judging others, generally speaking, if you do that, because they're judging themselves first. And they're judging themselves, but also because they have repressed all that shame and those fears. They can't, they don't like to face that part of themselves, so they need to project it on others through the process of judging them. And that also creates a lot of us versus them. We are better than them. And if they're not like them, if they're not like us, they're bad and they must be destroyed. Yeah, no, it's a very interesting conversation. Thank you for this, Kayla. Religious OCD, scrupulosity. Maybe I'll do a video about it at some point. Kayla said hi. Annie, hello. Christina, hello. Bossy Truvi, hi, dear sir. Hello to you. Hannah Lindgren, hello. Kayla, thanks. Thank you, Kayla. Resilient Warrior, hello, Resilient Warrior. How are you doing today? Hi, Didi. Thanks for the post about anxiety. It's like broken smoke alarm. Can you tell me more about it? I felt that before, like nothing is actually wrong, but felt something, so I took a breath and a walk. So anxiety is one of the mechanisms that we develop in childhood to keep us safe. Because back then, that's all that we knew. And so basically what happens is that whenever you're going to experience something that is going to remind you at a subconscious level of a situation in the past, your body will react in the same way it did back then, because it believes that it's happening again. So all throughout our developmental years, we're going to create a lot of tags, labels, associations with everything. So it can be visual, it can be smell, it can be sound, it can be feel, it can be a combination of everything, and it can be situational. But whatever it is, if we are back into maybe, let's say it's a quiet room, it's a Friday night, I'm safe at home, nothing bad. However, I'm feeling anxious out of nowhere. Why? Maybe because there's something about the air, the temperature, the stillness, that is, and more, that is reminding my subconscious mind of that exact state when I was younger. So now my body is going to go back into that state of anxiety that it was then. Maybe when I was young, I was on my own and something bad happened, or maybe I freaked out because there was no one. And so this is what anxiety is for many of us. A lot of people say we should have better thought, and it's true, because we have different level of thought, conscious, subconscious, and anything in between. So what it means is that some of our thoughts are unconscious. And by thought, I mean a narrative. There's still a narrative ongoing. And so what it means is that we can experience anxiety even without thought. Sometimes we have anxiety because we think certain thoughts. What is going to happen tomorrow? Or if we go outside and we have social anxiety, they're looking at me, what are they thinking about me? Or thoughts are going to trigger that anxiety. But for some of us, anxiety can happen just like that out of nowhere, and we don't know why. Panic attacks out of nowhere, and we don't know why. And it is because all of those little associations that we have created in childhood, and now our subconscious, we're not aware of them, but they're still the invisible buttons that are triggering those reactions in our body. Our body is telling us that there's a danger as it was, as it happened in the past. So yeah, does it make sense? Resilient warrior. And so what you want to do is to breathe, come back to homeostasis, and challenge your thought and scan your environment. Am I safe? Yes. Is there any of my bullies from the past in the room with me about to hurt me? No. Is there anything that I'm worrying about the future that is here right here and now? No. Right here and now, I'm at peace. And this is what mindfulness meditation teaches us, to come back in this moment and realize that for the vast majority of times, and for the vast majority of us, right here and now is always safe. Boykoto, Hi chat. I wonder how to love yourself. Ah, very good question. Okay, so I think you did ask me on one of my posts, and I did say to you to come to my live. So let's talk about this. You love yourself by stopping hating yourself. That's it. We are born self-loving. We are all born as babies, loving ourselves, being confident, being positive, being optimistic. However, as we grow up, we've been infected by the fears and the shame of the adults. And now we believe that about ourselves. So what we want to do is to stop telling ourselves, what's wrong with me? Why am I so stupid? Why am I so lazy? Why am I so ugly? Why am I so good for nothing? Why am I so nasty? Why am I so weak? We must stop that internal dialogue. We must stop hating ourselves by learning how to have a better, kinder self-talk. Talk to yourself in a kinder way. Talk to yourself as you would your best friend, someone that you care for. And then learn how to do it as a skill. At the beginning, it's going to be weird. And also, it's not going to work for everyone because we all have different trauma, different baggage. If you have a lot of baggage, you want to address those things first. But for those of us who are neurotypical and don't have any unhealed, deep emotional wounds, it's possible to address things from just here by changing the way you talk to yourself. And so I want you to realize that whenever you talk to yourself, you are talking to yourself in a horrible way. And the things that you tell yourself, you will never tell anyone those things. But the reason you do this is because it's just a habit. And also, the reason you have those negative voices in your head is because people talked to you like that in the past. Your parents talked to you like that. Your teachers spoke to you like that. Society talked to you like that. Your boss talked to you like that. And so because of that, it becomes a normality. And we end up talking to ourselves in the same way. What's wrong with me? I don't deserve those things. I'm going to make a fool of myself. Who am I kidding? Or, any of those things. And so stop this and start to change dialogue. Start to see the goodness in you. See the qualities. Sorry, I'm looking at my hair because it's a bit weird. Let's move away from my hair. So highlight the good things about yourself and then learn how to appreciate those good parts and expand them. And then tell yourself, you know what? No one is perfect. You don't have to be perfect. You have some habits because of X, Y, Z, but it's not your fault. We're all the continuation of what happened to us, and so we are just what we knew up to this point. Now, however, you know better. So now you can learn how to introduce a new program. You can learn new stuff. You can learn how to let go of the shame, of the guilt, of the self-hatred, of the fear. You can learn how to do that. It's a skill. But then go on that journey, and the more you do this, the more you realize, I'm getting better. I'm starting to love myself more and more. And then you're going to be reminding yourself that you always loved yourself because there's so much to be loved. But the world has taught you how to focus on some stuff to make you feel bad about yourself. And we just need to realize this and change this. And so, yes, how do you love yourself? By stopping hating yourself. And eventually you remember how amazing you are, how very special you are, how lovable you are. And the beautiful thing is that when you realize this, more people will love you as well. Because you will show others how to treat yourself. The way you treat yourself teaches others how they should treat you. If you hate yourself and you don't like your reflection in the mirror, people will get that energy and they will react accordingly and they will treat you. Many of them, not all, but many of them will be just going along with you. They think, okay, that person is like that. It's the message, the signal that they are radiating, that they are sending me, and so they're just going to be subconsciously dragged into those dynamics, and they're going to be horrible to you. Yeah. Or they're going to look down on you and belittle you. Does it help, Boykoto? Tia, how can you recognize the signals from your subconscious when they're actually helpful? And how can you avoid mistakes, for example, when your body tells you you need to be afraid, even though you shouldn't be? So let me try to understand this question. There are two questions there. The first one, how can you recognize the signals from your subconscious? I'm a little bit fast today, so I need to slow down again. ADHD. I can't slow down. How can you recognize the signals from your subconscious when they're actually helpful? What do you mean by that? How can we recognize the signals? Your body is telling you all the time. Your emotions, your sensations, your feelings, those are the signals. What you need to do is to learn how to feel. So if you avoid feeling, you wouldn't know. Your subconscious mind is going to communicate with you in two ways. Number one, physical, emotion, emotion, sensations. And there's also intuition. And so your body has different minds. You have the head, the gut, and the heart. The heart is your body. The gut is your intuition. And both your heart and your gut, they're always sending you signals. The reason why you don't get them is because you're overwhelmed by the thoughts that are in your head. The noise from your own head is drowning the message from your heart and your gut. And so, same thing as how do I become happy by stop making yourself unhappy? How do you love yourself by stop hating yourself? How do you recognize the signals from this place? By reducing the volume from that place. Learn how to be more mindful. Learn how to focus on feeling, on being present. And the more you do this, the more you'll be able to hear the signals from your body, but they're always there. You have them all the time. And the example that I often give is the example of intuition. Very often people ask me, how do I know when I have intuition? And it's very simple. We all have been through situations where we have an inkling of something, but we didn't follow that inkling. And the next moment we're like, why didn't I listen to my intuition? I knew I should have done it, or I should not have done it. I knew it, and yet I did it. In that moment, we know what was the intuition. And so this is it. We need to learn how to differentiate the noise from our head, the monkey chatter, with the feelings that emanates from our body and the intuition that comes from the universe. Now, next question, how can you avoid mistakes? For example, when your body tells you to be afraid. So you can't avoid mistake. This is the wrong mindset. I want to avoid mistakes. I want to avoid pain. I want to avoid bad people. I want to avoid bad stuff in life. Life is going to be all sorts of things. And what we want to do is to learn how to go through those things and deal with those things. The more we try to avoid things, the more we're creating fear, anxiety, disempowerment, helplessness, despair. It's the wrong mindset. Healing is not about being pain-free. It's not about never being exposed to bad stuff. It's knowing what to do when we're going to go through bad stuff, which is inevitable to all of us. All of us will have good days, good people, good situations, bad situations, good luck, bad luck. It's the same for everyone. The more we're trying to avoid those things, the more we're creating an inability to deal with those things that are inevitable. So the more we are furthering our suffering. We want to remind ourselves that pain is only temporary. But if I avoid things, I'm going to keep myself in a state of suffering forever. For as long as I'm trying to avoid life, you can't avoid life. And this is very much what happens when we are traumatized. When we have some trauma, sadly, we don't realize this, and so we are keeping away from everything. And so that's why it's so important to seek help and change this. Just 1 second, please. My watch is telling me that it's time for me to post my last TikTok post of the day. So just bear with me. I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to get back to you right after. Let's try for competitiveness.
Thinking about eating meat.
Okay, it's out. I'm back with you. Thank you, guys. And so we don't want to avoid things. We want to remind ourselves that we are stronger than we think we are. We are supported by the universe. And when we look in hindsight, whatever many of the bad things that happened to us, not only they're not as bad as we thought they were back then, but also some good stuff may have come out of them. And so it's about learning to remind ourselves of our power. I can learn how to deal with those things. I can learn how to regulate my nervous system. I can learn how to create a system that keeps me safe from the bad people without having me to think about it all the time. When you set boundaries, you create a system that is going to work on its own, right? As opposed to always being on a hyper alert mode every moment of the day. And so you don't want to avoid mistakes. You want to learn from life. You want to embrace all situations, all experience, and do your best to learn from every single mistake. The way that I see it is that a mistake is a lesson that we have not learned from yet. If you can learn from everything, you never make a mistake in your life, because things are always evolving. Something may be a mistake within a context, but as far as your life is concerned, you can always learn from any of your mistakes. And the moment you do this, it's no longer a mistake. It has become a lesson. It's a blessing in disguise. It has helped you understand something that you would have never understood in such ways if you didn't experience that mistake. I hope it makes sense. Does it, Tia? Resilient warrior. Sometimes, even though I'm disciplined, I feel something guilt because I fall, but I bounce back and learn from it, thinking that life is moment by moment. And so I learn from past failure and mistakes and move. Okay, good. Very good. What I was saying. Well done, Resilient warrior. Precisely. Resilient warrior. Any additional advice for it? Thanks so much and power to you. For me to give you an advice, I need you to give me a very specific question, please. Could you be bullet point question, please? Because it's all very vague, but I think that you are going in the right direction anyway, right? Resilient warrior. Any additions, advice? Okay, I read that already. Annie, loving yourself begins with putting yourself first, not in a vain way, of course, being kinder to the voice in your head. Allow yourself to make mistakes and try to do better without being harsh to yourself. So understand where you're coming from. Not putting yourself first. Yes, I agree with that bit. Being kinder to the voice in your head. You're not kind to the voice in your head. You shut the voice, you grab the mic, you talk to yourself, and you are kind to yourself. I think that's what you mean, right? I know it can be a bit confusing. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Yes, I try to do better without being harsh. Yes, so I agree with everything. Thank you, Annie. Resilient warrior. You're right about anxiety from the past narrative. I have experienced many things in my past where I survived many emotional difficulties when I'm on my own, just figuring it out, and I feel a lot better now. Okay, I'm glad you are in a better place now. By doing mindfulness, yes, yes. Annie, to me, at least, that's what it means to love yourself and to ground yourself. I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. Bokoto. Peman. Something in a different alphabet altogether. So I was trying to see if there's a translator. I can't translate this, I'm afraid. I don't know what it means, Peman. Is there any way you can translate this in English, please? Rap Brie. Let's not forget, at a certain age, hormonal imbalance can create strange behaviors. Of course, of course. But what are we talking about here? You're talking about adolescents, teenagers? Because this is also, there's a lot of things to be said about this, and I can talk about it, but I'm not sure that this is what you mean, so I'm not going to go in that direction unless you tell me so. Bossy Trophy. Be with children and animals. Okay. Resilient warrior. Thanks, Didi. I like that explanation. Breathe and scan around and be back to here and now. Is it true about when they said you don't rise to the occasion, but you fall to the level of training and instinct? So this is a whole different thing, what you say. You don't rise to the occasion, but the level of training and instinct. Yes, I would agree with that. What it means is that we are not dependent by our environment. Things happen when we are ready for those things that comes from the outside to manifest themselves into our lives. So everything starts from our state of readiness. I think that's what it means. That's how I read it, and that's how I would agree with it. Bossy Truvi wave emoji. Boykoto. I've been choosing a new program for almost 2 months. No smoking, yet I got nothing done but a bunch of songs. That's why I don't feel special. So I'm not sure where you're coming from here. You've been choosing a different program. I don't know what you're talking about. Program. It's for smoking, for stopping smoking, right? So that's one conversation. And then you talk about, I've got nothing done but a bunch of songs. So are you a musician? Are you trying to work on an album? That's why I don't feel special. I don't understand. I want to help you, Boy Koto. But at the moment, it's all, there's a lot of little information scattered. And to me, I only get pieces of the puzzle, but I don't have the picture. Can you make yourself clearer, please, Boy Koto? I feel there's something and I would love to talk about it, but I need you to help me, please. Rose Niakero, how do you get respect? You get respect by first respecting yourself. And what this means is that if you respect yourself, you choose the people in your life. You can't force someone to respect you. But if you respect yourself, you understand that some people will not respect you, and so you're going to leave them as they are, and you're going to invite the right people in your life. This is how you invite respect. You don't get respect. Respect happens when you are with the right people. That's it. But you cannot force anyone to respect you. A lot of people don't respect me. I don't care. I accept this. It's life. Why would we want for everyone to respect us? It's not feasible and it's not even good. Some people like us, some people we dislike us. It's just the way it is. We must accept it as a normality, as a fact of life. But it's okay because we can focus on those who like us, on those who respect us, on those that we can connect with, on those that we have similarities with, and we can create and build stuff together. But there will always be some people that will not respect you, and if you respect yourself, you stop trying to get them to respect you. You just allow the better people in your life. That's what I mean by respecting yourself first. I hope it makes sense. Does it, Rose? Bossy trophy. They even make a beautiful person feel like ugly. That's how crooked they are. So you're talking about, I'm not sure you're talking about toxic people, yes? Yes, it happens. So you are amazing. Oh, thank you very much. Annie, you will also begin to realize you having love and respect for yourself is scary to some. So yes. Sometime when we love ourselves, when we see our worth, people, they're not scared of us, but they're scared of the fact that if we love ourselves, they will lose control over us. So that's what I think, that's what you mean, right? They're scared that we are aware of our power, because when we find our power, we no longer need them anymore, and then they're losing their grip of us. And so, but it doesn't matter. When we find our own worth and self-love and respect, then we start a better life for ourselves. And it's a big world out there. We don't have to stick with the people we started our life with. Novice, just be. Pumpkin Puff, hi Didi, how are you? I'm very well indeed. How about you, Pumpkin Puff? Or no? What is an RTT therapist? It's what I do. RTT means rapid transformational therapy, and it's a blend of hypnosis, regression, and belief reframing at a subconscious level. So there's a process of hypnosis, and we go back into the memories of the past, and we find out where and when we have created those beliefs, those emotional triggers, those emotional blocks that have now escalated, gone out of control, and creating so much problems in our lives. And so essentially anything to do with mental and emotional imbalances would be because of some blocks, triggers, or belief that we have installed ourselves in childhood based on what happened to us then. And so with the RTT, we upgrade that moment. We change the relationship that we have with that memory so that our nervous system, our subconscious mind, doesn't need to keep that system going on for us anymore. I don't need to be anxious anymore. I don't need to have low self-esteem anymore. I don't need to be overthinking anymore. I don't need to chase perfection anymore. Because, Because now I'm a grown-up and I have all the systems that I can use to deal with life, but are not those things. I can deal with life with my intelligence, with my intuition, and with the resources that I have as an adult now. And so, that's what I do. Novice, I can't control how people perceive me. No, you can't. And you don't want to. We want to stop trying to control things. Control is an illusion. We can't control nothing. We can influence things. We can guide things. We can put together the systems, the templates that we know that have worked best up till now and hope for the best. But we can't control anything. The very idea of control, again, comes from fear. Control is an illusion that we have because we can't accept the unknown. We can't tolerate the uncertain. And so the way to deal with life is to learn to be comfortable with uncertainty, comfortable with the unknown, in the understanding that we are supported by the universe. So there's a spiritual element to this. But it can be addressed psychologically as well. Annie, how do we stop ourselves from overthinking? Not necessarily in a bad way, but like the moment my mouth stops moving, my mind takes over, and I find it very difficult to follow/catch the social clues. So it depends. Some of us will. It depends what you call overthinking. I think that what you talk about is not overthinking. Are you on the spectrum of ADHD, or do you have some hint that you may suffer from CPTSD? Because if you have a trauma brain or an ADHD brain, we'll be thinking all the time. And there's a difference between catastrophizing and worrying and thinking about the future every night, thinking about tomorrow, trying to solve a problem. That to me is the conventional way of overthinking. For those like me who have some conditions, I'm always thinking. I'm not overthinking about something. I am just constantly thinking, non-stop. And that's different. Right? And so for if you are like me, if you're not necessarily fixating on one thing and obsessed with one thing, but you're just thinking all the time about things, and sometimes you may hook onto one topic, but then move on to the next moment, then it's not overthinking to me. It's just that your mind is overactive. And so to that, there are two things you can do. On the one hand, you can learn how to practice mindfulness and meditation. So when I meditate, I no longer have this going on. I'm at peace. But the rest of the time, when I'm not meditating or when I'm not practicing mindfulness actively, then all of what I'm doing is to choose better thoughts. I'm using the fact that my brain has that ability to think all the time, but instead of thinking about the bad stuff, I'm thinking about the good stuff. And so, in other words, I am obsessed with my work. I'm obsessed with mental health. I'm obsessed with psychology. I'm obsessed with the mind. I think about it 24/7. I'm here. I look after my clients all week long. I talk about strangers at the gym, in the park, about that all the time. I'm obsessed. I read about it. I watch videos every day. I write content. I create stuff. I'm obsessed with that because I have that mind. But it's good. It's positive. I love it. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel amazing. It stimulates me so positively. It expands my mind. It broadens my own mind every day because I'm realizing that I know things that I didn't know I know the moment before. And I love this. And so if you have a sort of mind, use it to your advantage. Don't think of it as overthinking. Think about it like, I have a very active, very powerful mind. How can I use it to my best? Right? And so when it's too much, learn how to practice mindfulness and meditation. And they're also a great thing to do. I love meditating. I do it every day. I do some walking meditations in the park. I sit down as well. I do all sorts of different types of meditation, and I love it. But there are other moments where the flow of thoughts come back, and I welcome it with my arms wide open because it's a great feeling to have if it is empowering thoughts. Right? That's the main thing. If they are thought about self-criticism or fear-based thoughts, not so great. Now, did you mean overthinking, or was I right to assume that you may be on the spectrum of ADHD or CPTSD? Annie? I'm saying this because you talk about social clues. So it gives me a hint that maybe you could be neurodivergent. Are you? Resilient warrior. Thanks, Didi, about life is not avoiding mistakes or pain-free. Yes, I used to be dread about ups and downs in life, but now learning that everything is essential and life is exploring and experience. Yes, growth mindset. Absolutely. Annie, which then creates awkwardness or misunderstanding all the time. I have been trying to do better, but I'm still suffering from that. So let's go further down in the thread and see what you think about what I have said in regards to your first question. Tia, thanks, your answer very much. Fantastic. Thank you, Tia. Kayla, I watch your YouTube shorts. Very good. Thank you for the compliment. Resilient warrior. Thanks for telling and reminding me about I'm on the right direction. I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel that I'm all over and overthinking, but being self-aware now that I'm doing okay. Thanks. Okay, thank you. Relatable but earn. Okay. Resilient warrior. Thanks, Didi. Ever since I followed your channel, I've been learning about self-awareness, mindfulness practices, growth mindset, reading Mindset by Carol Dweck, accepting mistakes, and learning acceptance. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Resilient warrior. That's what I'm here for. Spread some Didi love. Letting go of control and focusing on intention, clarity over certainty. Yes. Bossy Trophy. Blue heart emojis. Thank you. Resilient warrior. Appreciated everything, Didi. Thank you. Boycotto. After years of neglect and weed, where I wrote songs and job hoped, trying to recover, now I don't see reasons to love myself as I haven't done shit. Thanks for the previous answer. Be kinder to myself. Okay, so that's because you still see yourself from the perspective of the people who told you that you are not good enough. You're never going to amount to nothing in life. You're such a loser. You just smoke weed with your stupid guitar. What do you think you're going to do with that? You see yourself from the perspective of the people who talked to you like that in the past. And as long as you do that, you're going to feel, I'm a terrible person. I'm worth nothing. Change that perspective. See yourself from the perspective of someone who thinks that you are brilliant. I think you're brilliant. I'm a musician. I used to play guitar. I mean, I still play very rarely. I play piano, I sing. I love music. And I came to London in 97 to become a rock star. I literally came to London to be a musician. But because I was into drugs, alcohol, and I have so much of my own baggage, of course, this was never going to happen. And if anything, it's good that it didn't happen, because if I had fame and fortune in the state I was, I wouldn't have lasted very long anyway. And so I see the beauty in you. You are an artist, you are a creative, and you had your dreams broken because people didn't believe in you, because they didn't believe in themselves. So they projected their own limitations on you. They put you down, and now you're still looking at yourself from their perspective, right? And so what I would say to you is, first start to address the weed. As long as you smoke weed, it's going to affect your mental and emotional state. It's going to create more paranoia, it's going to create more depression, it's going to create more disempowerment. I used to be a drug addict myself for 38 years of my life. And so tackle that. We can talk about it if you want, and it's different for everyone. But my advice would be really for you to focus on addressing your physical health and your social life. So, because this is what is going to help you address the weed first. Once you can get rid of the habit of weed, now you can start to address your thinking and your emotional mind as well. But until it happens, you won't be able. Because when you're in a state of, when you're high or when you are low the next day, you won't be able to access that part of you that needs to be accessed in order to heal. And so my advice to you is, try to do your best to change your lifestyle and also reconnect with people socially. And we can talk about it. I know that it's not easy, but there's a way for everyone. So that you can eventually have a break from weed. I'm not saying stop forever. Have a break from it for at least 6 months. So that during the 6 months, you're able to maybe upgrade every aspect of your life so that you can make music, so that you can be creative, make a living maybe out of it, or whatever that you want to do in your life. You haven't done shit because you've been stuck in that place. I've been stuck in that place myself up to the age of 38. And so I get it. Some people get stuck for until their 50s, 60s, or all of their life. But you don't have to be stuck in that place. Because you've been stuck in that place for such a long time, doesn't mean that you can't change. Doesn't mean that it's going to be like that forever. It only means that you've been like that for that amount of time up to now. You can always change. Pumpkin Puff. I'm doing okay. I had to do some public speaking today, okay? So I'm a bit in my head with how I did, or if I sounded dumb. How do I stop obsessing with thinking of the past and judging myself by focusing on the next one? Instead of thinking, did I come across as good? Did I look stupid? Focus on the next one. You have spent enough time thinking about it. That's it. What can I learn from that? Be categoric. Be very, very decisive. Okay, this is good, this is bad. Take some mental note, move on, and focus on the next. This is what I do with my content myself, with everything that I do. I'm always focusing on the next movement. That keeps me forward because I know that the process is about growth. It's not about the things that I produce. I don't care about those things. I care about me becoming better at that person that is producing the things, which in turn will create better things in the future. And so the example I can give you is with YouTube and TikTok videos, for instance. When I first started, it was terrible, but I didn't care because I already had that growth mindset. So I was like, I know that it's terrible, but I know that the more I do this, the better I become at it. So I'm always focusing on learning from the past and moving straight away from the future to the future and focusing on my own growth. I don't care about the things. Once it's out, it's out. I don't care about my books. I don't care about anything else. I just care about me expanding myself all throughout my life, all my life until my last breath. And this is the only one thing that matters to me. Growth, not the traces of it. As long as I'm alive, as long as I keep growing, whatever I produce, whichever way I interact with people, whichever way I impact anyone in my life, we become better and better. Focus on that, right? One of my favorite artists is Prince. And I remember in an interview of him, some journalist asking him, which one is your favorite album from all the albums you've done so far? And his answer was, the next one. He never listens to his old albums. He doesn't care because he's focused on the next one already. And it's the same thing. I'm doing the same, and I suggest you do the same. With your speaking stuff, focus on the next one. Okay, you know what? Next time I need to do this, I will do that. Learn how to do some exercises, maybe some elocution, maybe memories, maybe writing script, and structuring them in a way that is more flowing, whatever that it is. Focus on you growing and becoming better public speaker or whatever that you do. Okay, and that will fix your solution, just your problem, just like that. Now you are on a rampage. You are excited to move forward. Annie, I hope it helps. And also, Boykoto, do tell me more about you if you don't mind. I would love to help you out, if you allow me to. Annie, you were right about what I was trying to say. I might be on the spectrum, okay, but never get it checked. Thanks for answering my question. Your point of view is beautiful. I will try to look at it in the same way. Thank you. Guys, so just so you know, if you're new to my channel, you can replay that video from tomorrow. All my live streams are to be found and replayed on YouTube when it's uploaded. So it takes normally a few hours for YouTube to upload 2-hour-long live streams. But typically, by tomorrow morning, if you found anything interesting, and if you want to retrieve some information, anything that I said, you can replay that. You can find that video tomorrow on my channel in the live stream sections from tomorrow morning. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I appreciate your support. And if you know anyone who can benefit from my help, get them involved. I come live every Wednesday and every Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. And I do my best to give you some information and suggestions and recommendations as much as I can. Okay? Boykoto, no more weed for me. Okay? No more. So no more. You stop. Can't make a living with music. I just gotta get a job and keep it. No junk food, way more exercise, which I keep consistent, and social life is hard for me. First, I need a job. Okay. So you're in a survival mode. You can't enjoy yourself. It's okay. Sometime in life, you get to go through the hard stuff because we don't have any other choice. So at this point in time, what you want to do is to find a job, to have some money, to give you some financial freedom. Is that what you mean? What I would suggest you is to create a strategy where you do something with your target in mind. So you can find a job. There are millions of things that you can do. We can talk about it. It's a whole different conversation. But what I really want to emphasize here is that you only have one life as far as this life is concerned. And so you want to really make the most of it. What it means is that it doesn't have to be this or that. If you really feel that music is important to you, I would suggest you to keep playing in your free time. And over time, create a strategy that allows you to do something with your music. Nowadays, more than ever, thanks to social media, it's possible to do so many things. There's so many people who have breakthroughs through TikTok or YouTube. Or I was watching Lily Allen the other day. She made it through MySpace back then, and there's so many more examples. But it's possible to do so many things nowadays more than ever before. And so keep your mind open and keep doing things that make you happy. And at some point, life may present itself differently to you and offer you some possibilities. But if not, you can always strategize something over a long period of time. Music doesn't have to necessarily be being in a band. You could be doing something within the world of music. Something to do with musical instruments, something to do with tour productions, with decor, with whatever. There are millions of ways to do things that feel right for us without necessarily doing it exactly how we picture it. But if you are a performer and it's something that you always wanted to do, don't give up on that dream, because you may have some opportunities in the future. Keep doing it. Think to yourself, I need to get a job. I hate myself, I hate my life. But it's okay because I have a dream. This, I will make it happen at some point. As soon as I can, I will find out how to make this happen. And then that will keep you going. Instead of you living the rat race, I'm doing this because I have to survive. You're going to do this because you want to give yourself a chance to, at some point in your life, make your dream come true. Yeah. And so there are some examples that I can think of. So I don't know who you are, but think about Suzanne Bowles, for instance. Suzanne Bowles, she had a very humble life, and she always sang, and she loved singing, and she never stopped. And she had her breakthrough at a relatively late stage in her life. I don't know how old you are, I don't know how old she was then, but she was relatively, and yet, fantastic career, right? And she's not the only example. There's a lot of, there's one example that I always give. Grandma Moses, fantastic example. Grandma Moses is I'm on Wikipedia. She's an American folk artist. She's a painter. She started to paint at the age of 78. Take this in. The whole life, so it was, she was born in 1860. She had like 5 kids, I think, and she had to work at the farm, and so she had to do all of those things. And she always loved painting, but she didn't have the time. And so she just did her life, and every now and then, rarely, when she had a chance, she would paint a little bit, but she wouldn't be able to sustain this as a regular hobby. But eventually, at the age of 78, she started to paint, because she was then retired, because the kids were grown up, and she just did it for fun. And then she'd been spotted by someone, and then she made a fantastic career. Her stuff was everywhere. She lived until the age of 101 years old. Her work was everywhere in all the museums. They used her work for postcards. For all the American festive greeting cards, Christmas, they used her work. So it was all over the place. She had a fantastic career from the age of 78. Grandma Moses. Check her out. She's on Wikipedia. So it's not the same as maybe being a rock star. But it doesn't matter. My part here, and it's the same with me. I love music. I'm not doing music now because I've got that thing happening. But I'm thinking maybe at some point in my life, when I'm older, I may get back to music. I may put a band back together. I may create some new stuff, put it on YouTube, put it on whatever platform exists then. It's never the end. Everything is possible. And so hold on to that dream and use it as a way to motivate you to go forward and to do those stupid jobs that you hate for now. It's only for now. Picasso used to say this, sometime you need to feed the palette. So what it means is that the palette is where you put the oil painting to paint. So basically you need to have money to buy the paintings before you can paint. And so in a very similar way, I'd say to you, whatever you've been through, because it's been like that always doesn't mean that it will always be like that. And you can always do something that makes you happy and be creative and stimulating for you at some point in your life. If not now, you can do this at some point. Hold on to that dream and allow it to come to you when you're ready for it. I hope it makes sense. Does it? Does it help at all? Novice, is it good to just disregard every bad thought I have? Sometimes I feel like I should try to find the meaning behind the bad thoughts and memories I have, but I feel better when I don't. It depends. It depends. It depends on so many things. So it depends what sort of thoughts. Most importantly, it depends on your emotional state. How do you feel when you're having those thoughts? It depends on your journey, on your healing, self-discovery journey. It depends on so many parameters. You want to be inquisitive about your thoughts, as in wondering why they exist. But then you want to be able to decide whether or not you're going to continue on that train of thought or not. I think that's what, when you have a thought, you can always ask yourself, oh, why am I thinking this? But then there's a difference between jumping on that train of thought, if you don't feel like it, and thinking, okay, you know what, it's not important, I'll let it go. Listen to how you feel. If you feel that it's not important, let it go. If you feel that it's important, maybe address it. And also I need to know what sort of thoughts you have, what sort of conditions you have. Why do you think those thoughts? Are they patterns? Are they always triggered by the same sort of situations? Tell me more, please, novice. As with every question, it depends. This is what I always say. There's one answer that is universal. It depends. So if you can give me more details, that'd be very helpful, please. Bossy Truvi. I didn't know I was performing for those narcissist family members. Now I'm practicing stillness. Okay. Hope you're in a better place now. Bossy Truvi. Boykoto. Yes, I'm in survival mode. I will keep playing when I find a job. Now I can't. Also, funerals and nosy neighbors are bad. Okay. So it's for you to learn how to do this. I get it. I was in the same boat for a long time. But you can find ways to make things happen. You can find different ways to do things. Maybe you can use some instrument that you use a headphone with. Maybe you can go in some places where there are rooms or in parks with no one and do some stuff. You can play there. I see some people playing in the park. I know that it's not ideal, but it's for us to do. It's for us to learn how to make the most of what we have. If we are learning if we are waiting for the conditions to be perfect, nothing is ever going to happen, because nothing is ever going to be perfect. But if we are learning to do the most with what we have, even if it's far from being perfect, now we're changing the dynamic of life. We're trying to do something. And so now life is going to become more easier. It's going to give us more and more ease into making things happen. And eventually we'll be able to do it the way it should be done. But it's for you to develop a growth mindset so that you can find ways to make those things happen. And if you don't have a growth mindset, that'd be because you suffer from depression. And if that's the case, it's not your fault. You can't force yourself to have a better mindset. And if that's the case, what you want to do is to address your depression. There's always something that we can do at this point in time in our journey. And the hardest thing is to find out what it is. A lot of people laugh at people who have a fixed mindset or a victim's mindset. And it's a terrible thing to do because people don't choose that mindset. We have that mindset because that's all that we know. And because we suffer, because we have some baggage. And so if we can't have a growth mindset that allows us to find ideas and solutions, we want to address our heart set. Address your depression. Address your limitations, your limiting belief. Do some work about it. And if you can't do anything because you're in a too bad place, take it one day at a time. Do your best just to enjoy yourself. Do your best to do what you've done. Go to the gym, spend time outside. Do the best to do what you can, what you know that will help you. Even if it's not good enough, it's still something. Eat well, sleep well, hang out with the right people, and keep your dream going. Go and see gigs, listen to music, watch some videos of your favorite band online. Keep the dream going. You can still compose even if you don't play because it's loud. Instead of having an acoustic guitar, use an electric guitar without the amp. It doesn't make a lot of noise, and you can still play, and you can still write songs. Right? There's a lot of things you can do. It is for you to find out what you can do. I hope it makes sense. Lola, what is RTT therapist? It's me. I am an RTT therapist. RTT, it's like hypnotherapy on steroid. We address the problems that we have, mental and emotional problems, by addressing our subconscious mind. We upgrade the belief or the subconscious triggers and blocks that we have because of our childhood. That's what I do. So it's very good for anything to do with trauma, depression, anxiety, addiction, pretty much everything, phobia, low self-esteem. Pumpkin Puff. I will try to focus on the future instead of the past. It just feels hard for my brain to not obsess over how I was seen, what people thought about me. I feel like I'm so awkward. Okay, so if you find it difficult to focus on tomorrow, it's because emotionally you still believe that you are not safe. You're in danger. People are judging me. People are going to think things about myself. So in that case, whatever I said, you may not be ready for it now, or at least not in this moment. So what you want to do in this moment is to tell yourself, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to come back to a place of mental clarity, and then I'm going to tell myself, am I unsafe? Are they judging me so bad that if the judgment is not positive, it's going to affect my health, my happiness, my freedom? Is their judgment going to cause me harm, physical harm? No. Their judgment don't matter. We all judge, they judge. Is it going to be dangerous to me? No. Tell your nervous system that in that moment. And then eventually when you feel safe, you're like, all right, whatever they think, whatever they want, doesn't matter. Now, once you're safe, focus on the future. Do the next bit, the thing that I talked about. And so that's why, again, I was saying that we can always do something, but it's about us finding out what it is that we should be doing and addressing at this point in time. What is our priority? And so your priority is that you don't feel safe because you're scared, worried that their judgment may affect you. It's not going to affect you. Tell yourself that. Go back to that place of peace and mental clarity and tell yourself, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they project of themselves on me. It's their projections. It's got nothing to do with me anyway. In that moment, when you are no longer hijacked by your emotional mind, but you are back into a place of mental clarity here, now you can focus on the future. Thank you for your heart. So I assume that it's you, Pumpkin Puff, agreeing with me, right? Lola, thank you. Thank you, Lola. Emma, multiple personalities due to trauma. Okay, so do you want to talk about this? I have just 4 words. Multiple personalities due to trauma. 5 words. No, due to trauma. So what would you like me to, would you like me to approach that conversation, please? Do you have a problem? Do you believe that you may suffer from dissociative identity disorder? Pumpkin Puff. Not to mention that I made a mistake while speaking, so I'm just thinking too much about it. So again, turn it to listen. Instead of thinking, I made a mistake, I'm stupid. Tell yourself, yes, I did. Yes, I looked stupid. But then, laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself seriously. Oh, I look stupid. Okay, it happens. Be kind to yourself. Don't look at yourself like someone who's going to say, you look so stupid. You're so stupid. Oh, you're pathetic. Tell yourself, that was silly. Not a big deal, it happens. I was a bit like a clown, it happens. No, take it with a pinch of salt. Be kind to yourself, so that will let go of that energy of having to go back to that moment in your thought. Tell yourself, it happens, it's not a big deal, and then remember, okay, that mistake that I've done, I'm going to learn from it, I'm going to turn it into a lesson, I'm going to make sure that I do something different the next time, so that I don't end up in that same situation again. That's it. Right? Mr. D. Michael, you look very smart, perfect choice of clothing. Okay, I'm glad you appreciate my fashion sense. Thank you. Emma, yes, okay, so you have it. So tell me about it. Tell me about it. How is it manifesting in your life? Tell me about some patterns, some situations that are happening regularly in relation to your dissociative identity disorder. Boycotto. How to address my depression other than self-care? I don't trust the therapist I met. I have professional upstairs neighbors bothering my peace, kids banging and screaming, can't focus, thanks. Okay. So first you want to focus on, you don't want to focus on your state now. As in, you don't want to focus on, I have professional upstairs neighbors bothering my peace. this is going to hijack your attention on disempowerment. You don't want to focus on kids banging and screaming. You don't want to focus on any of those things. You know that it's there, but the more you think about those things, the more those things are going to really, really piss you off. So I know that it's not easy. How do we do this? By choosing better thoughts. Focus on finding a solution. You say, I don't trust therapists. You don't trust therapists because you haven't met one that you trust yet. Change your way of thinking. Not all therapists are bad. There are some therapists that are bad. I agree with you. Some of them are evil. My line of work attracts a lot of narcissists, sadly. A lot of therapists actually hurt people. They go into that profession because it's a position of power. There's a lot of vulnerable people. And so typically, narcissists will love that. And it's not just mental health professionals, doctors, police officers, lawyers, judges, that attracts a lot of narcissists. It's a fact, it's true. But not everyone is like that. If you have suffered from some bad therapist, or if you had some therapists that just didn't care, or was just maybe too new, then keep going. Some of them are good, some of them will be able to help you, and it's for you to find them. If you believe that no one can help me, then you're done. You're done. You're not going to change. Nothing is going to change unless there's luck and the universe brings you someone in your life. And so instead of waiting for luck to happen, and that luck may not happen on its own, I would suggest you to change the way you think about people. The world is full of people. Many will be good or bad, depending on the context, depending on what is happening to you. And it's for you to find out the good ones. It's your job. But know that they exist first and foremost. There are good people out there with some good skills, with some good experience and knowledge and understanding of the mind that can help you. Okay? That's your first thing. And next, go on that journey. Seek them. Nowadays, more than ever, all information is at the tip of the finger. Or not even, you can talk to Siri or Alexa or whatever, and AI is going to find people or solutions for you. Very easy. Now we don't have the excuse of not knowing. We can know everything instantly. And I know this because you can see me on your device, so you have access to the internet, right? And to AI. And so know that there's someone, at least one person, if not more, with the right set of tools that can help you, and it's for you to seek out for them, talk to them, and if you feel that there's an emotional connection with them, maybe we can give it a go. Okay? And in the meantime, I know that you are overwhelmed by your environment, and I know that it's not easy. Again, I've got my conditions. If there's a lot of noise around me, that drives me insane as well. Because of my ADHD, noise gets me into states of rage. So I have to learn, had to work on myself a lot. And every now and then, I still have to use, where are they? Every now and then, I still have to use this. EMF. Because every now and then when I'm working, I live in central London and there'll be some noise and I can't think. It's not possible because I have ADHD and CPTSD. I have a trauma brain, so it's very difficult for me to focus if there's noise, and that drives me nuts. And so I understand my limits, but I also understand my power, and I find a way to tap in my power as opposed to being limited by my limitations. And you can do the same. And so if you're driven insane by the noise, or even better, put some headphones. You're a musician. Listen to some music. And suddenly, bang, your power is back. Right? Novice. I think about why the people who traumatized me did what they did. So I don't demonize them, but make them more human so I can forgive them. But I wish I could just not think about them anymore. Seek some help. Do you do therapy? Do you have someone who looks after you? Or is it the work that you do on your own? If you don't have professional help, maybe that's what you should be doing. Maybe it's part of your journey to to go through the past and learn how to see it from a different perspective. If you are saying that you are trying to see them more human, it's not a bad thing. But it's only good if you feel good about it. If you're trying to force yourself mentally to forgive them and to see them in a good light, even though your heart is still living in anger and fear and injustice, it's not going to be good. Pay attention to your body. It's going to tell you whether or not what you think is correct or not for you in this moment. I hope it makes sense. Does it? Pumpkin Puff, you're right. Other judgment on me shouldn't affect me. Yes, it's a skill we have to learn. But yes, once we get it, life is amazing. Much more easier and kinder. Emma, yes, I do. Mandy, hi, form no cal. I don't understand. Maybe it's just misspelled. Hello from Cal. Are you from California? Emma, I find it difficult to stay in me, one of my copes, but haven't seen her in 3 years. I want to be whole again. I change without warning and have to try to make sense of people who say hello to me. Seek professional help. If you have dissociative identity disorder, you need professional help. That's my best advice to you. But then what you say may not be meaning that. You say, I find it difficult to stay in me. What do you mean by staying in you? One of my copes, is it one of your personalities? Or one of your friends? I want to be whole again. I change without warning. What do you mean by changing? In which way do you change? Could you tell me more specifically, please? It's a lot of words here that don't gel together as far as my mind is concerned. I change without warning and have to try to make sense of people who say hello to me. What do you mean? You find it difficult to understand social norms? Is that what you mean? This is not dissociative identity disorder. It's a whole different thing. If you find it difficult to make sense of social norms, that is more to do with a neurodivergent brain that doesn't naturally understand social norms. Or doesn't at all. Shani, hello. Melanie, how to let your heart open for love again? By stopping thinking about the past. By stopping thinking about that person who broke your heart. By reminding yourself that they are good people. By reminding yourself that you had happiness with people. By removing the negative association that you have with dating, with people, with love. That's how you do this. Again, I can talk in more depth, but I will only say as much as whatever the question inspires me to say. So if you can give me more details, that's what I'm going to say. That would be very, very useful. But yes, I think I answered that question appropriately. Melanie, you in London too? Yes, I am. Yeah, this is from London. Emma, a residual memory helps me. No, a residual memory helps with the big thing. It is horrible and devastating. I don't drink, drugs, or anything like that. I write things down for myself. Sometimes that helps. Okay. Christina, I think I have DID. I found out that people play my personalities. They confuse me until I change. I disappear. And then they talk to the other me and make her give them money or something. If you have any suspicions that you may have DID, get yourself diagnosed and seek some help. I don't believe that people would play your personalities. They confuse me until I change. Tell me more about yourself. What makes you feel that you have DID, please, Christina? Give me some more hint so that we can maybe determine if that is plausible indeed. Because you're not sure yourself, right? Mandy, hi from Northern California, so I get it right. I only missed Northern. Hello to you. Novice, yes, I see a psychologist once a week. That made sense. Okay, fantastic. So you are supported. Keep going, keep working on yourself, keep learning about yourself and exploring yourself. And eventually, things will really, really become easier at some point. At 2 C3NTS. Is it safe to say the internet has made a lot of social norms seems weird? No, no, no. Because society evolves. And so the internet is society. The internet didn't make anything different. The internet is a part of the evolution of technology, of everything. It's like saying, has the invention of electricity changed this? It's a part of it. It's normal. It's the evolution of things. The invention of the wheel, fire, industrial revolution, all of those things, they are part of our evolution as a species. And so nothing has made anything. We go in that direction and we evolve in that way. I hope it makes sense. And if anything, the internet is one of the greatest inventions. Again, industrial revolution, internet, and now AI, which is just as big. We find out in very soon. And so what we want to do is to stop demonizing the things and realize that all those things, they exist because of the people. So it was never the thing, it was the people. We want to address the psychology of people, as to why we need those things to exist in our society. And it's the same thing with religion as well. Religion is not bad. What is bad is some people and how some people use some religions to control and hurt other people. And so, yeah. What do you think? What do you say? Emma, staying in me means being me. I don't always recognize the people when I change. I looked in the mirror one day and was shocked that I had become older and realized 20 years had passed. So, okay, I can answer that question. We don't have one self. We are not one mind. We are many minds. And each mind has a different personality, a different set of qualities, a different voice. And it comes out when it's needed for the situation we're going through in that moment. And so, if let's say, someone tells me something that makes me angry, the part of me that is protective is going to feel bad. It's going to say, I want to fight back. But then the next moment, I may say to myself, calm down, it's not that bad. And what it means is that another part of me has hijacked this moment. And it's the part of me that is calming me down. And then there may be the next moment, the part of me that is trying to understand. And so on and so forth. Each moment, there's a different part of us that comes out. And so in a sense, we all have DID. We all have multiple personality disorders. The only difference is that we don't suffer from it. But the way we function is the same. We need to forget to let go of the idea that we have one mind. Because as long as we believe that, we can believe, I'm bad, I'm stupid, what's wrong with me? Why did I do that? Why did I think like that? Why did I react like that? Because a different version of me that wanted to protect me then came out in that moment. It came from a place of love. All the parts of me love me. They are all part of me. They all exist for a different reason. Some are there to fight. Some are there to hide. Some are there to run away. Some are there to people please. Some of them are there to get me to lie to people. It's all there to protect me. But if I don't know that I have many versions of me, I'm going to think I am bad. I'm going to cultivate shame. Instead of realizing that it's a part of me that exists to protect me. Anxiety, depression, negative thoughts, overthinking. They're all part of me that exist, that come here out in that moment because I believe there's a part of me that is the drill sergeant and is going to choose which parts are going to come out at which moment. Which parts are the most suited for the situation. And they always were there for our goodness, for our well-being. But if we believe that we are one mind, we're going to believe that we are bad, and we suffer from this. Shame and fear are the two things that create all mental and emotional distress. And so, yes, something very important. And I will create a long-form video about it. I like that subject. There's a lot of things I want to talk about. And by the way, since I'm at it, do check out my long-form content, please. Every week, every Wednesday, I post one long-form video on YouTube. And the one that I put out this Wednesday is called Emotional Intelligence is a Game Changer. On the thumbnail, you see me in green, going like this, saying, what is emotional intelligence? And so if you want to understand more things about the mind, check out my long-form videos. They're there for that. And I will do definitely a video about the fact that we are not one mind, for you, Emma, and everyone else. Because when we realize this, everything is different. everything is better. So the reason why maybe sometimes you feel that you're not aware of who you are is because you've been hijacked by one mind for a long, long time, because there's a part of you that believed that mind was the best mind for that job, and that job lasted that long. And so we don't fix things just like that, but the understanding that there are many parts is where self-awareness starts. Nazia Khan, hello. Pumpkin Puff, Didi, did you learn how to talk to people by just doing it for so long, or do you feel you were always good at talking to people? I was terrible at talking to people. Even now, every now and then you can hear blah, 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 blah. I get knots in my tongue. So I learned by doing it. When I first started to do videos on social media, it was terrible. On Facebook, I was having hypomanic episodes from my lives, and I would talk so quickly, and I would say the wrong things. I wouldn't even understand what I said. When I watched on repeat, I was like, what did I say? I didn't, because I was all over the place. So I was a terrible, terrible speaker, and English is not my first language, and so I still make mistakes today, but not as many. I just did one. I said I just made mistake instead of I still make mistakes. I still say the wrong things, and so no, I was not good at it, not at all. And also I suffer from anxiety, social anxiety, amongst many other type of anxiety, and so I was not good with people. The only way I could connect with people was when I was high on drugs or drunk. Now I was still over the place, but at least I had confidence, and that's why I was addicted for 38 years of my life. For 38 years of my life, I was in a constant state of either being drunk, being high, or being hungover. Not a single day for 38 years I was clear-minded. And so, so when I changed, when I went teetotal, I had to learn how to talk again as well. So yes, so we can all learn everything. We must accept that, just like me with my speaking, we don't need to be perfect. Enough is enough. Novice, also reading about philosophy helps. Okay, maybe. Okay, if it helps you, fantastic. For some people, it makes them more depressed, right? If you stick to the miserable old German blokes, it's not going to bring a lot of help in your life. But there's a lot of different types of philosophy. So what I would recommend to you is philosophies that are kind and compassionate. So typically philosophies that come from the East, for instance. 2C3 and T's. Okay, thank you for breaking it down like that. Okay. Christina, I have a way of disappearing when I get scared and uncomfortable. People can make me disappear by scaring me, and then they easily control my actions. I remember nothing afterward. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about it next week. I just realized that it's 8:02. I should finish at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to read the last comment very quickly. But if there's anything big like that, please do come back next week. I go live on YouTube every Wednesdays, every Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. And so you can always find me and we can continue the conversation, okay? I would love to talk about it, but next time. And also you can leave some comments on my videos in the meantime. And I forgot what I was going to say. But yes, next time, please. And also, yes, and also you can replay that video when it's available to be replayed from tomorrow on my channel. So let me just quickly read the last comments and say goodbye to all of you guys. Mandy, many facets of oneself. Yes. Emma, yes, what you said makes sense. All of me must learn to love me. Yes. No, it's not all of you must learn how to love you. It's you must love all the parts within you. That's different. Right? We suffer because we avoid some part of ourselves. We're ashamed of some of our parts. And this is what creates mental and emotional problems. It's not that all those parts must love you. They love you already. They all exist because they love you. The anxiety exists to help you, to love you, to protect you. The depression exists to help you because it loves you. And so on and so forth. It's about you learning how to love all of them. That's different, right? And by you, I mean your ego, your sense of self, your consciousness, whatever that you call yourself. Love all parts of yourself. Love all of your emotions. Learn how to have a good relationship with your emotions and your body. and your intuition. Pumpkin Puff. Thank you, Didi. I hope you have a good rest of your evening and weekend. Thank you so much. Thank you for your heart. Chris Hilton, waving hand emoji. Mandy, thank you. Emma, appreciate your help. Thank you so much. Mandy, another emoji with a heart inside. Mandy, when you do speak, I feel your confidence and your true intention of goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mandy. Annie, waving hand, and this. Boykoto, can we talk? Yes, sure. Come back next week. If you want to talk to me on one-to-one, if you want to have a discovery call, if you like to talk about my services, on my profile, there's a link to my website. And from there, you can send me an email and we can organize a free discovery call sometime. Okay? Novus, thank you. Until next time. Thank you. Boykoto, thanks by the way. Thank you. Christina, you have a very calm presence. Thank you so much. Pumpkin Puff. Also, I really enjoy listening to you speak. I don't notice the parts you might consider mistakes. I think you speak very well. Thank you. Bossy Truvi, thank you. Sanjet. Okay, guys, I love you all. Thank you so much. Look after yourself. Be kind to yourself. Always. If you can't be kind to others, at least be kind to yourself. And hopefully I see you next week, Wednesday or Friday or whenever. Make sure that you do subscribe if you haven't yet. And thank you for your support. Thank you. Bye-bye.